Congrats, Dylan Jones.
Great. Congratulations. And then thank you all for bearing through that. And with that, my officer report is finally over. Are there any questions? Dylan?
Do you have a percentage of this, or do you know what percentage of the slate needs to be filled to get that money from the Fair Election Act?
We're looking for about 70 to 90%. Anyone else? All right. Danny's turn. Need some help?
Hello, everyone. It's great to have everyone back in this room together. I appreciate your continued attention and enthusiasm to all that is student government here at KU, especially during 45-minute officer reports. It's always a good thing. I suppose this would be a good time to address the reason for these crutches. Ran into a little bit of trouble down on Ohio Street on Saturday. Involving a stop sign, so it cut me up pretty good, 10 stitches, not a huge deal, but yeah, that's that. Yeah, so just general updates, I'll try to keep this quick. Besides a brief trip this summer, I was in the office, just me and Sabina hanging out, so you guys being here these last couple of weeks has kind of been a welcome change, even though I love Sabina. So yeah. So yeah, first update on my end, freshman elections is basically here. Connor has done a fantastic job with the promotion of freshman elections. And from what I've gathered from talks with Jesse Burbank, and kind of what Connor has informed me as far as our social media engagement is going, we have a decent amount of freshmen interested, so that's a very good thing. Just a couple of reminders, in case you guys have a freshman that you want to inform of these pertinent matters coming up soon. Petitions, in addition to declaration forms, are due tomorrow by 5 p.m. Following that, we'll have a mandatory meeting for all candidates at 7:30 p.m. in the International Room. Jesse Burbank will facilitate this as he is the Elections Commission Chair. We're looking into having Stefan and Gabby come speak, kind of give a face to this whole Student Senate operation and kind of really get freshmen enthused in the process, so that's a possibility. And the campaigning begins next Monday, the 12th, with voting closing at 4 p.m. on Tuesday. Next item, Student Senate rules and regulations. We have an updated copy, just updated that today for September of 2016. We have print-offs. We might not have enough for everyone, but expect that on the website tonight, tomorrow morning, depending on when Connor gets that up, correct? Perfect. Sounds good. Replacement senators, due to the uncharacteristically high number of applicants we've received this year, it's to the excess of 40 people, which is great. I've decided to push this off until cycle 2, with the deadline being last Friday. It didn't seem feasible to hold interviews this Tuesday, Wednesday, given the fact that we had the Labor Day weekend. So I've decided to do that. Applicants have been informed via email that the applications have been received. Interviews will be conducted next week and will be considered at full Senate in 2 weeks. Next thing, Court of Appeals. We don't have to elect any new judges. They're retaining all their judges. Michaela Hennessy, the chair, informed me of that. So yeah, at this point, I'll unveil the random selection of senators to serve on both our Replacement Committee and Elections Commission Selection Committee. We have 5 senators serve on Replacement and 4 serve on Elections Commission. So basically what I did is I put together a spreadsheet with all of your guys' names, and then Gabby gave me some sort of formula, as I'm kind of technologically inept, that was like a random number generator or some sort of thing. So that's how I have determined these names. If you have any questions as far as the random sample goes, let me know. I can show you the process by which I came with these people. So I will announce them now. No reason to come up. For the Elections Commission, we have James Crowder, Kevin Tenney, Sylvia Hernandez, and Victoria Snitsar. For replacement, we have Luke Jordan, Sophia Templin, Preston Montgomery, Grace Hyman, and Madison Muller. So we will address more of that after the meeting tomorrow. Let me think what's next. Yeah, for new senators, I understand that this process is kind of complicated and it's fairly intricate. So I figured I'd explain, just for anyone that had any questions about this, what the interim agenda entails. It's basically similar to a consent agenda. Things can be pulled off the agenda, but basically it covers anything that we acted upon this summer at Studex with appendixes. For instance, me and Connor's outreach policy we wrote, office policy, things of that nature. So any questions about the procedure, don't hesitate to reach out. Next order of business, holdover senator. Isaac Bainey informed me that he resigned. He was also the senior senator, but also was overlapped with the holdover. The next in line was voting was Nick Faust, but he respectfully declined. And then Rules and Regs grants me the ability to give it to the next line. That was Sophie Wang. I've contacted her. She is at some sort of an engineering summit. She has accepted the position. She can't be here to speak on her behalf, but if anyone would like to speak on Sophie's behalf, anyone that knows her, we can acclimate her accordingly.
Novus? All right, all those in favor of acclimating Sophie Wang as our new holdover senator? Please say aye. All those opposed? Nay? Abstaining? All right, Sophie will be our new holdover senator.
Perfect. Two more things real quick. Senator assignments for outreach involving the organizations that you will be assigned to reach out to. As per the outreach policy, will be sent out by me and Connor by Friday, and then from there we will hold meetings in the following weeks to kind of get you guys up to speed in terms of how to conduct proper outreach and whatnot. So be aware of that. So yeah, I'll elaborate a little more on equitable elections. This is something I kind of started researching back in May, just kind of the basic idea of how we can make elections more open, more accessible, more representative and such. And then Stefan and Gabby kind of took an idea that we all kind of came up with and really moved on it by getting donor sort of appeal to it. So this is something that me, Stefan, and Billy and Gabby put a lot of work into, and we're pretty proud of it. So it's pretty cool to present this to you guys today. Like Stefan said, I really think it will go a long way in breaking down institutional barriers, because as we know, the elections process is historically dominated by a certain group of students, kind of a niche, concentrated group that has crafted the policy that a lot of students have been fenced off from when they're subject to this policy. So I didn't think it was in the interest of democracy or accountability for the election process to stay as is. That is exactly why we're funding it as a supplement after $300, contingent upon a coalition showing evidence of legitimacy as far as raising money goes, getting out and doing things. So that's that. Another contingency is the $1,000 spending cap. The longevity of this fund is only continued as long as the spending cap stays at $1,000. That was kind of a deliberate ploy. I don't like the idea of the spending cap moving at all. If you have any questions on this, please don't hesitate to reach out. But yeah, I think this will go a long way to removing some of the monetary disadvantages in the process. Nothing's perfect, but we're pretty excited about this. Last but not least, I want to give a warm welcome to Jasmine here. This is her first Senate meeting. We're really happy to have her. We're going to speak on a bill that involves her and her interest in student Senate. So just wanted to wish a warm welcome for Jasmine, and we're really happy to have you here. So I'll open up. At this point, I'll open up the floor for questions.
Chance? Are there any other questions? Victoria?
Can you repeat that? We had upwards of 85, 90% filled.
Any further questions? All right.
Perfect.
Up next, we have Abduli.
Hello, everyone. My name is Abduli Najai. If you don't know me, I'm a senior majoring in human biology from Wichita, Kansas. I'm really excited to follow up after what Omar and Jamila did with this position. And I really want this year for this position to be more proactive than reactive. I feel like in the past couple of years, especially with all the trouble the Student Senate has had, most of it has come from us being reactive to issues that students and marginalized students have had. Instead of like reaching out, finding out what issues they have, then bring them back to the Student Senate to be able to advocate for them. So one of the biggest things I want to do is start by being able to build bridges between multicultural communities. That means going to the OMA. I have a list of multicultural student organizations. My goal is to try to attend as many meetings as I can for each of those organizations. I'm also working with MSG. I'm excited to work with them. I know that they didn't get passed, they're still a student organization. And another thing I want to talk about is that MSG has control of MEF. And I wanted to defer to Stefan so he could speak about that.
So just really quickly on that, her bill 166 that passed in the spring that transferred jurisdiction over the Multicultural Education Fund from Student Senate to the Multicultural Student Government. That bill is still valid, and so Listen and I met with representatives from the Multicultural Student Government student organization, so they stand as a student organization. And so we met with representatives from that organization to go over some best practices for the fund, different things with central accounting, and really just provided them with as much information as we could to make sure that their year of jurisdiction with that fund is going to be successful. So just a quick plug. Thank you.
And I also want to talk about, it's been a busy summer, so I've had meetings with the Emily Taylor Center, SAPEX, for example, to talk about outreach to multicultural groups to speak about sexual assault awareness. I've had meetings with the CAPS office to see how they can better advocate and reach out to marginalized communities. And one community we haven't really spoke about was international students. So back in May, me, Stefan, and Gabby had an opportunity to meet with the director of international studies, and just to talk about how we can be better hosts as like domestic students and talk about mental health initiatives, because I know like everyone heard about the international student who committed suicide, and we want to work to make sure like things like that don't happen, even though like you're coming from another country, so it'll be hard to like connect or communicate with other people here, but we still want to make it okay for them to find someone they can reach out to when they're having issues. So we're actually going to have a speaker from an international student who works directly with mental health for international students come speak to us later this semester. And then I want to talk about a couple of projects and initiatives I've been working on. So one thing I've been doing is following up on Omar with the KTPE program for students that will have. So right now we have 5 students with intellectual disabilities starting at KU this fall. So right now we're working on a video just to advertise the program, let students know, give them a nice Jayhawk welcome. And if you're interested in being in the video, you can talk to me after this. Another cool thing that I've been want to work on is I've been working with Marsha and Precious to plan a multicultural student retreat. So this retreat will be a one-day event, November 5th. We're still working on logistics, but how we're thinking of it is being like one day, all-day event. We'll have an opening speaker, breakout session, then during lunch, we'll have lunch dash resource fair. So we'll have a lot of resources that a lot of multicultural students don't know about, and then also have like a listing of like job openings and things like that, just to give as many resources as we can. When we come back from lunch, we'll have another breakout session, then we'll have a portion about Student Senate, where any representative of Student Senate can go speak about Student Senate, how funding works, and things like that. Then after that, opening for open discussion, and I'm collaborating with OMA peer educators to just get different ideas of work. I want to work directly with the OMA just to like reach out to their students, like get opinions from them. That'll be a way to like help bridge the gap between Senate and students of color. And then I've also served on a couple committees this summer. So I'm working with the climate study, which should be released within the next couple weeks. And when that gets closer, I'll remind everyone to fill out that survey because it's going to be a good way for our administration to know how students feel at KU. And I was also on a committee to help plan an ASHA conference. So if you're a first-generation student, you should have received an email about a conference September 23rd and 24th at Wichita State. If you fill out the registration form, it's free and it'll be covered. It'll be just an event that will have first-generation students from all around the state just network, meet each other, and just build relationships and mentorship. I'm also on the DEI report committee, so I know everyone knows about the DEI report that went out at the end of the year. We're just helping to go through that, make recommendations, keep administration accountable. And Stefan, Gabby, and Danny pretty much touched on the Equitable Donors Fund and the Summer Mentorship Program. And another thing we worked on that we'll talk about later is creating a board of advisors. This would be a board of students from selected multicultural groups or groups we felt would fit. This would be a group that I would be the chair of, and this group would meet with Stefan and Gabby before full Senate on a selected date that works for everyone to just give them an idea of what's going on in Senate and like to give Stefan and Gabby great feedback on what's going on. And I feel like this would be a great way just like be representative and also like just give different have people have different ideas, different feedback, so we can all just say student Senate is more inclusive. That's it so far. If anyone has any questions. Yes. All right. I'm going to call on people. Yes. I have a meeting with Trinity on Monday to speak about this so we can know more. I would like to defer to Stefan.
Sorry, that's really loud. You can defer to me. It's about $30,000 right now. And we're going to go in order as you raise questions. I'll raise your hand for questions. I'll call on you. So Mark, you're first. Defer to Alyssa. Constanza.
I'm not sure on if this is just an open meeting or just a meeting just to talk between us, but like they control MEF, so I'm not sure how they're going to reach out to groups, but I would like to defer to Danny.
Mackenzie, you're next.
With the program, when you find out like if got like a step work, does the ETA does all like they
Yeah, they'll.
if they are. Because I like went on it, it's like the one and that was it.
I would defer to Stefan.
Dylan.
So, pretty sure student fees, we made it contingent that got applied by chancellor for to get that actual student fees. We do that for in-depth as well. That part out.
Defer to Stefan.
Zoya?
That's something I can bring on Monday when I speak to Trinity.
Are there any other questions for Julie? Frank?
I haven't speaking with Trinity to that extent. I should know everything after I speak with her on Monday.
Frank?
If those funds are not spent, funds, do they come back and just use the
No, I believe they don't.
Victoria?
They can come to student center for funding as well.
Marcus?
Defer to Alyssa. Yeah, defer to Taylor.
So when I looked over the bill, once the studies, I believe, all of the exhibits are already in the was struck. So it said now in the control of government is dictating how or any regarding structuring and how much incentive is based off of that's what I got the government from it, but I guess my fault.
Danny? All those in favor of ending questions? All those opposed? Abstaining? All right, and with that, we'll move into Amy's officer report. For reference, the live's on, but we'll figure out how to mute the screen finally. Just so you don't have to stare at us twice.
Hi there, I'm Amy Shoemaker, I'm the Graduate Affairs Director, and I've condensed my speech to a very short few points, so I'll spare you most of it. So I'm a second-year PhD student in the Communication Studies Department, and as this role, as the Graduate Affairs Director, I have three guiding principles that are underpinning everything that I'm doing, all my initiatives. Those are to educate graduate students about available opportunities throughout the university and the community, and to engage them, and I have a plan on that as well, and to engage them in the processes, as well as to enhance their experience. And so there are tons of initiatives that I'm trying to do, and one of those is those of you that were here last year or the year before, you may have noticed an underrepresentation of graduate students in this room, and I'm happy to announce that very shortly when we add the replacement senators, we will actually be at capacity and filling all of the graduate positions. There are 18 total, and so we'll finally have that, so that's really exciting. So that's really good. And I'll also say as this position, I'm the Graduate Student Advisory Board. It's that body that I'm trying to really bolster from previous years, kind of just existing and trying to really make it active and empowering the members. And we had our first meeting last night, had some really engaged and excited people, mostly new faces. So I'm really excited that we'll be able to carry out a lot of initiatives, both academic, social, and policy-wise, trying to get graduate student life to be better on KU's campus. And the one final thing I wanted to say, because most of the graduate senators that will be here aren't today, to the rest of you as well. I know it's easy to kind of float through Senate or do the bare minimum. So I just want to challenge you guys to find something that you really care about this semester and to push for it. And if you want help, I have a large background in advocacy work and work in the real world before I came back to PhD. So if you want help with any of that or advice on grad school or anything like that, I'd be happy to talk to you. And one final note for my grad senators and professional senators, you could hang out for just like 30 seconds afterwards. I want to chat with you. But other than that, I'm open for questions.
Any questions for Amy? All right, with no questions, we'll move into Connor's officer report.
turn the projector on. How do I do I just fund it? Can you help me, Kevin? Sorry, I'll make my office report faster. Okay, it's warming up. I'm going to go ahead and start it. I'm going to keep it really short because it's hard for me to do that. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to stop watching my phone so I keep myself under 3 minutes. Hi, everyone. I'd like to thank all of you for being here and everyone watching our live stream tonight. I know it's a little echoey. We're going to hope be moving or hopefully be fixing those a little bit. Let's see here. Social media is what I have on the screen. This is a lot of stuff. Like, is it way too much? Yes. Should you follow all of them? Yes. So these are our main Twitter accounts right here. Senate, Vice President, that's a really active one. Stefan's. We have a new Vice President one for Gabby. What? Oh, it's getting there. She's learning. I've had Gabby a lot. And Jasmine also do this separately. But for the rest of you in the room, please just take out your phone and take a picture of the screen. It's a lot easier for you to take a picture of all of our social media because we want you to get involved in that. So, like, do that, please. Fun fact, I got yelled at in class today because I tried to take a picture of a lecture slide. So, but I won't yell at you. You can take a picture of this. Okay. So we have the Facebook page. You can message us there. I'm really quick to respond. On Twitter, please use hashtag Senate. I'm not the only one using it. Please use it. These are our main ones. I made one this year right here for the standing committees, and it was kind of cool to see those going on during committees. Our vice chairs run those, and I'll be meeting you guys soon about more like kind of Twitter best practices and that kind of thing. Additionally, these are accounts that are related to us, but I don't run. KU SLAB, that's a Student Legislative Awareness Board. That's run by Maddie Womack, our Government Relations Director, and the other is CCO Kansas. That is, of course, our kind of sister or brother group, whatever you want to call them, kind of under our wing that we're connected to, which is Center for Community Outreach. We have an Instagram, Senate, and now we have a new YouTube, which is Student Senate KU. And we made that so that we could preserve our videos and everything, and archive them. So that's really big. That's a really big thing for me is to make sure that we have a lot of transparency in here. Outreach, we have new outreach policies. Please come to any concerns about it. Outreach this year is going to be mandatory for senators to be in attendance. I'll let you know when that's coming up. It'll be in October sometime. The website is slowly coming along. Please bear with me. I will have final edits done by next committee. Still learning how to work it. Goals for this year, we're going to have a bill coming up soon that's going to require this live streaming for each full Senate meeting and finance is already anyway. I'm going to set up a system where all of our members of our exec staff meet with each multicultural group on campus once a semester at least, so that we really increase, and I can work with that on that one as well. We have outreach board changes coming soon. We're going to do more charge outreach board with certain things so that we can, there'll be some legislation, so that outreach board can be more active this year and more effective. And then this year I have University Conversations, which was passed in a bill last year. Do you have any ideas? It's supposed to be something topical. Dr. Durham talking about maybe possibly doing a post-election thing. Election and how the elections are affect us in higher ed and things like that. And finally, emails. Please direct your absences to Mitch, our Internal Affairs Director. You can email him at Senate at ku.edu or senateinternal@ku.edu. So if you're going to be missing or late or something like that for a Senate meeting, don't tell me. We used to do that. Tell Mitch, please. You can Facebook message me. You can DM me on Twitter, our official Twitter account at KU Senate. My phone number is 620-617-8081. If anyone wants that. 620-617-8081. I want to be really available available for all of you to need anything. And finally, if you are not receiving emails on the listserv, please let Metro I know. And the last thing is for some of you new senators, something that we hear a lot instead of clapping, we agree with someone, we snap. So communications director, I'm going to kind of push you to communicate that way. So you can applaud when people are appointed or elected something, but when someone's speaking on a bill and you agree with them, we just snap fingers so it's a little quieter. All right. Thank you. Do I have any questions?
All right, and if there are no questions out there, we will move into Zachary Kelsey, who is our transportation coordinator.
Hi. Is that loud? Okay, cool. Most of you probably don't know me. My name's Zachary Kelsey. I'm the transportation coordinator. So basically, I'm like a liaison between the city, KO on Wheels, and MV Transit, which is the contract that runs the buses for us. So if you have any parking or bus questions, you can ask me. We outlined two main goals for KO on Wheels this year. The first was to decrease wait times, especially with Safe Bus and Safe Ride. With Safe Ride, there were reported about 15 to 30 minute wait times last year. Luckily, we got that down to 5 to 10 minutes. We'll talk about how we did that over the summer. But we're experimenting with new technologies, ways to operate, and we're really excited to unleash new tools. The second main objective was to expand service to other groups of people, primarily scholarship halls. Historically, scholarship because of their close proximity to what we call in MV Transit zombie land, just because crazy people walk around at night. We're trying to expand that to them because the MV Transit can't operate in a certain proximity of a bar. Many people in scholarship halls want to have service with Safe Ride. We're trying to expand that and find ways to get around that. And so I'm meeting with Scholarship Council next week to straighten that out. Additionally, some of you might remember last year or last semester, KO on Wheels and Lawrence Transit cooperated for a $30.6 million grant from Tiger Grant, which those of you that know Tiger Grant is stands for Transportation Investment, generating income or investment generating economic recovery. Basically, it's a grant the federal government does towards transportation projects. We didn't get the bill, or we didn't get the grant. It was only given to locations in California. The only ones that got it in our region was in Des Moines. So if you want any other details about where we're going to next, you can talk to me about that. We're still trying to build a transportation hub closer to the university. Additionally, we've met with several app developers over the summer to make Safe Ride more like Uber. We understand that things are changing, and the way that people get around is changing as well. We've developed an app where people can just log in and essentially create an account and have their address saved. And whenever they want to Safe Ride, they can just hit a button, and the ride will come, and you see on a live map where your driver's at. And we've experimented with just the dispatcher side of that, and the dispatcher side alone has been able to recalculate routes, and that's why you've seen almost a 80 to 90% decrease in times. We're expecting that once the other half comes out, hopefully in the spring, that wait times will continue to decrease. So good things are moving ahead. We're adapting. We're looking to improve efficiency and increase service. Do you have any questions? Okay. So originally it was supposed to be in lot 90. The university, the funds didn't come through. The university and the city of Lawrence have both posted about $15 million for that. Unfortunately, because it's not going still that $15 million that's waiting around. The Public Transit Advisory Council is advising City Council on other locations. The current one that we're looking at is 19th and Stewart. There's some land there that endowment owns. That's the top choice. It's still not ideal. We're still going to do a few loopholes with the city commission to decide that.
Brittany?
Okay, cool. I'll wait.
Timon?
Yeah, we're looking to expand service to make it more handicap accessible. Right now, we haven't had any issues with it, especially over the summer. We do have one large van that can fit 10 people as well as a wheelchair, and I believe we have two other vehicles that are also wheelchair accessible. And we haven't had any problems with it yet, but we're still looking for ways to innovate to prevent problems from rising.
All right, with no more questions for Zach, we'll move into Maddie Wellness report. Almost there.
Hi everyone, I'm Maddie Wellman, Government Relations Director. Just a couple of things I wanted to touch on. This summer I mostly, what Stefan referenced, the kind of like sweep and changes in the legislature was something that I was really excited about. I volunteered and worked with a couple of campaigns. So that was exciting because I think that'll be really good to make our higher ed day easier and make advocating for things students want to see a lot easier. So that was exciting. One big thing, the first lab meeting of the year is going to be this coming Monday, September 12th at 7:30 p.m. in the International Room. We're going to do officer elections and talk about how we're going to plan higher ed day, which will be February 1st. And also the holidays in higher ed semester, which some of you did last year might remember that we're definitely continuing that. Come talk to me after if you have any questions about that or want to know more. So what I'm just going to focus on this year is like successful higher ed day, advocating and voter registration, and I'm looking at other groups that we haven't worked with in the past. Obviously, I'll be a part of Lead with the Dole Institute, but what I've been meeting with Cody and talking about Adam Steinhover too. We're really looking for other groups. I've met with LMA, and if any of the appointed senators know that their organizations would be interested, I would love for that to happen too. As far as on campus, that was mentioned in Stefan's report, I really think that I'm definitely watching that, and I think it might be a real possibility that we add that on State Higher Ed Day and look to get that changed, especially if it's going to depend on the November general election. Make sure you're all registered to vote. That's all I have. Any questions?
All right, with no questions for Maddie, we'll go into Ike Naviancia from CCO.
Good evening, everybody. NCIA couldn't state tonight prior obligations, so it's may be NCIA later. So I'm going to keep this super brief. I do want to explain very quickly kind of what the CCO is and how the CCO relates to the Senate, since that's really maybe an important position, particularly how you relate to constituents. So the CCO works in the Lawrence community to connect KU students with nonprofits, so that students can learn about nonprofits and about causes in the community, connect to causes that they're interested in, apply their skills and unique abilities to help affect change collaboratively in the community, and hopefully become active and engaged citizens in their communities in that way after they leave KU. So the CCO was founded in 1990 as a student platform. So we have been part of Student Senate since day one. Today, NCIA and myself, she's the managing director and executive director. We sit on the exec staff of Student Senate. So we're very happy that we have that relationship. We also work with some offices strong hall for advising and some other purposes that are primary relationship with Student Senate. If you don't know where our office is, we're right next to the Senate offices. You can drop by any time. We have 12 programs that work in the community, each in a unique area, focusing on a unique need, and we have some larger events throughout the year. Last year was our most successful year that we've ever had. I'm really glad to be coming back to the organization again this year. Last year, super briefly, we had 22,000 hours of service, 13,000 training opportunities, and an economic impact of $525,000. Which is cool. So it's a really big increase from previous years, and we're getting more of our economic impact from volunteering hours instead of from donations, which is awesome. So you may be wondering why I'm up here. It's really important. Community service is part of student engagement. You're already involved in as senators, part of relating communities in a collaborative and productive way. So if you or any of your constituents are interested in serving the community in this capacity, reach out to me or reach out to any of our coordinators or staff members. As far as what I've been working on, I've been here all summer. We're working on some new initiatives this year, of course, kind of the classic stuff with reaching out to more students and getting more students involved. But we're also focusing particularly on our relationship with the Greek community this year, ensuring that we're serving the needs in the community as well as we possibly can, while making sure that KU students are representing this campus well in the community and working within the needs that CCO has established. And we're also interested in broadening that conversation to make sure that we're talking about how KU students volunteer with us or interacting with the community. Does anybody have any questions? Thank you.
All right. With no questions for Ike, we'll go into our treasurer and assistant treasurer.
Hey everyone, deep breath. Usually our reports are shorter than the time it takes for me to walk up here. Maybe not what, but my name's Alyssa. My name's Alyssa, and treasurer this year. Everyone figure out kind of stuff that we do. Shoot us an email or come to office, but I will let him take it away.
I'm Whit. Sorry, it took so long to walk here, Alyssa. So I'm allocated with $70,000 by CX this summer. We have $400 going tonight, and if it all passes, unallocated, it will be $69,600.
Yeah.
Are there any questions? All right. Very nice. Cool. Well, now that we have officially finished off our report, we will be moving into the interim agenda. So like Danny explained, this agenda is things that were passed by students over the summer. So there's things that need to be passed wherever in back to school. Different things that need to be approved, and different funding that was necessary over the summer. So at the moment, I'm looking for a motion called a question on the interim agenda. Maddie? All right. All those in favor of calling the question on the interim agenda, please say aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Abstaining? All right. So we'll now move to a clicker vote. All those in favor of passing the interim agenda, please press A. Opposed, B. Abstaining, C. And it's open. All right. In a vote of 54 to 4, the interim agenda passes. And from there, we will move on to the consent agenda. Ryan? All right. All those in favor of calling question on the consent agenda, please say aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Abstaining? Great. Another clicker vote. All those in favor of passing the consent agenda, A. Opposed, B. Abstaining, C. And we're open. All right, and with that consent agenda passes, and we'll move into our regular agenda, starting with Bill 2017-013, a bill to amend student rules and regulations, Article 3, Section 1.
Yeah, so I know this was touched on a few times, and I'll just kind of give a history. So in the past, Student Senate has paid for child care services if any student senators have a child. We decided, for reasons that were touched on earlier, and I'll let Danny go in depth, to extend that to and/or interpretation services. Pretty straightforward.
Yes, the idea behind this is in the interest of making this space as accessible as welcoming as possible. This basically extends the accommodation in addition to child care privileges into interpretation services. So basically, me and Connor met with Jasmine Fillmore a couple weeks ago, and this is a requirement for her to exist in this space to her fullest potential, so to speak. And so this is something we're really excited about. Shoring up this language, not just for Jasmine, but for anyone down the line that might need an accommodation of this nature. So I'll take any questions at this point. Wait.
Also, if Jasmine, you want to speak on this, I will return to you.
Either or.
Okay. I'm gonna stand to it and not leave here and my. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jasmine. My last name is Fillmore. And I am a part of the deafblind culture. And we use something called sign names. My sign name in particular looks like this. It's a J, and you'll move it two times around the shoulder area. I became very interested in the Senate position. Definitely in particular with Abel Hawks. Sorry, what just recently happened was that the interpreter had to ask for clarification. So back to my point. So I became very interested in that. And not only because I have a disability, you might call it that, but because I am going to my major in social welfare. Some of you may not know this, but I was not born deaf and blind. And that may interest you as to why that is, why I became deaf and blind. And how I can talk so well. I became deaf and blind because I served the country. I was in the Army specifically. I am also married to a Purple Heart veteran. He couldn't be here tonight for reasons that I can't particularly explain and go into. But that said, the reason Mike is not here is because he has an illness that he's going through, and he is in the hospital right now. Sorry.
But many times veterans often can come back with mental, say an illness, particularly PTSD. And with that said, I want to ask you if you could accept a moment of silence for those people who suffer from that.
And with that, we'll start a moment of silence. Thank you, everyone.
I really do appreciate you all taking the time to do that. So we had some concerns recently about the ADA and accessibility here on campus at KU. As a deaf-blind student, I believe that right now I am the only deaf-blind person on campus. But I'm not only thinking about myself. I'm thinking about other students as well. Those students who are blind, or those students who cannot hear, or those students who use a wheelchair, crutches. And those are also another group of students that we need to keep in mind. And there are other students that we may not think of and thinking about their needs as far as their accessibility. And we need to think about those students who have experienced domestic violence situations as well. And those who have experienced sexual assault. I am a very strong advocate for accessibility and for those students who I'm a strong advocate for those students who have experienced domestic violence and sexual assault. Some of you maybe don't understand what that is, or and I will say that domestic violence is those people who have experienced violence through maybe a power control. There's many different situations that can go through to experience domestic violence. And also those who have experienced sexual assault. Some of you may not know, but I am a survivor of domestic violence and sexual assault. And that allows me to have that connection, that knowing with those people who have. And right now, I don't believe that KU has enough policies and regulations that give accessibility and network for those people. Because sometimes depending on the situation, a survivor maybe needs a quick answer. They need resources quickly, or they need to change their environment very quickly. And just different things like that. And that's why I'm interested in becoming a part of the Senate. And if you have any questions, please feel free.
Are there any questions for Jasmine?
Thank you so much. It's great to have you here. Thank you very much. I didn't see it. I didn't see any questions. Entertaining.
Mackenzie?
How long have you been active with Jasmine?
I just transferred from Park University in the summer. This is past summer semester. So I started around June
Connor?
when the summer classes started.
What do you like to do, Jasmine?
I enjoy going outdoors, being with different friends. I enjoy fishing. You may not think that deafblind person could fish, but I am able to. And this past summer, I was with a group called the Warrior Outdoors. And we had to go fishing. And I actually caught a lot, the most fish out of the group. I also enjoy shooting as well. And again, people think that people cannot shoot, but if I have someone with me to guide me, it's called an SSE, a service provider, and that person will give me visual information or various things about the environment. That is different from interpreting. Because as you can see, the two interpreters here, they are certified and licensed. But a support provider does not have to be licensed. But they are limited because they can only give specific environmental information and not necessarily interpreting.
It goes, I think that's Louis, and then Grace.
I'm hoping that I can do a lot of different things with that. But one thing in particular is that many domestic violence survivors or sexual assault survivors sometimes have money stolen from them by their abusers, and that can affect like attending school. And so that is one thing that I would like to plan to address. Also, as far as working with the Senate and other senators, making connections. And so that way we are all able to address different needs of different domestic violence and sexual assault survivors. Because my focus will be accessibility at KU. But there are other senators who can maybe help address maybe specific response time issues for sexual assault and violence. And just because I know that KU has a case against that. Because someone would say that KU was not responding fast enough to a situation. And so as appropriately, I would like to help address that problem of response time. Because that is a serious need and a serious issue.
Grace?
What is your dog's name?
I'm sorry. I forgot to introduce. This is Peaches. And brief comment about my dog. Recently I had experienced a problem with her being here. And some have objected to having my service dog on campus because she is labeled as emotional support. And they are trying to argue that that's not really a service dog. But I mean, if you look at the definition of a service dog, emotional support dogs are a service dog. So that's another problem that needs to be addressed. Because we have to. Those of us who have emotional support needs, like whether veterans or not veterans, we still have the right for emotional support to guide us through various situations. But right now, I am being told that the university only allows emotional support dogs in campus living. And I have asked the student body president before this meeting. Does that mean I can't bring my service dog? And I was told no. You are totally welcome to bring your service dog. You have the right to do that. And so I was really happy that Connor and all of the membership and the officers have been very supportive of me and my rights.
Louis?
There are many things that I face as a deaf-blind individual. If I don't have anyone with me that can sign, then I can't really have accessibility of even locations. I mean, as far as like cafeteria, different areas. Because from what I know, none of the staff in the cafeteria can sign. And also just walking through the campus. There are many students that can't sign as well. And so I don't really know. I mean, I have noticed that like one day, for example, I was walking to Fraser Hall for an English class. And I dropped my soda on the ground. And I was trying to figure out I was using my cane trying to find the bottle. And I didn't know if a student or a staff member. But somebody came up to me and gave me the soda back. But I was not able to communicate with them because they couldn't sign. So it's just different things like that. And then I arrived at Fraser. Something happened. I dropped my soda again. And then this time it went everywhere. And I was trying to find the bottle and the cap because I needed to get to class. And again, another student or maybe a staff member, I'm not really sure who, came up to me and gave me my things, and I was able to go to class. But again, I was not able to communicate or identify the person because they couldn't sign.
Right. No more questions on the floor. I'm looking for a motion on the bill. Maddie? All those in favor of calling question. Bill 2017-01013. Please say aye. All those opposed? Nay. Abstaining? Great. So we're going to do a clicker vote again. All those in favor, please press A. All those opposed, B. And abstaining, C. And while those votes come in, we'd like to thank Jasmine and her husband for their service. And with that, the bill passes 58-0. Next on the agenda is Bill 2017-014, a bill to amend Article 9, Section 283. Chance?
Jasmine says thank you for voting in favor of this bill.
I am sorry, but I do need to leave because my ride will be here shortly. But I really enjoyed staying and listening, and thank you so much for voting.
Sorry, I was a little emotionally overwhelmed by that just a little bit. Hi, everybody. My name is Chance. So this bill is to amend the Senate Elections Code, and it's basically to make sure that freshmen are able to get a part of Student Senate. The sort of sticking with what Stefan said, his 3 goals were about molding a more accessible and inclusive student senate and uniting campus communities. I thought it was unfair, and it was echoed by my fellow orientation assistants over the course of the summer, that it seemed unjust that freshmen who came in here with more than 45 credit hours weren't allowed to be a part of Student Senate because it was some arbitrary number that we decided to set to keep them out. So the purpose of this bill was to make sure that anybody who comes in here as a first-year senator or a first-year student has an opportunity not only to be a part of Student Senate, but also vote for their representatives, because as it stands, some people are disenfranchised from both voting and being a part of the body based on some random credit hour limit that we put on it. And during committees, Gabby asked me to check with Quiz about whether or not this would be possible, and he told me this isn't something we could accomplish this election, but I knew that going into it because we've already sent out papers and got everything done. So this wouldn't come into effect this election, but it would be able to happen for the next freshman election next year. So I know it seems like we're doing this a little early, but I want to give everybody enough time to make sure that everybody can vote and everybody can be a part of Student Senate that wants to be. Any questions?
Ryan? All those in favor of calling question on the bill, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Nay. Abstaining. All right, and with that, we will do a clicker vote again. All those in favor, please press A. Opposed, B. Abstaining, C. It's open. All right, and with that, the bill passed. Yeah, congratulations, Chance. Up next is Bill 2017-018, a bill to amend Student Senate Rules and Regulations, Article 6, Section 2.
All right, am I good?
You're good.
All right, so this bill came about because of a problem that I encountered this past spring when committee officers were elected for the school year. Committee officers are very important. They set the agendas. They're really in charge of advocating for a variety of issues and running the committees throughout the year. Now, given how important they are, it would make sense that that Senate Rules and Regs really defined the elections process, but that was not the case. In fact, there was really only a couple sentences about it, one of which, the primary one being, election participants shall have been members of the committees in which they vote for at least 4 meetings immediately prior to the elections. Now that's very confusing given that it doesn't define who election participants are. Are they people who are running? Are they voters? Are they both? Who knows? And if they're voters, then that means that there would be a 2-tiered system of committee voting members for that last meeting, because you don't have to attend 4 meetings in order to be a voter. You only have to attend 2. This bill also posed a problem because it did not allow for any excused absences, even though there are a variety of legitimate ones, such as going to a conference or working, even though senators are normally allowed excused absences. And so I really want to make this a lot clearer and a lot more accessible. So I basically just rewrote the rule, and so now you just have to have been a member of the committee for 3 of the 4 meetings prior to the last one of the year when elections will be held. This tries to ensure that people are committed members of the committee while also allowing for an absence, excused or unexcused, because things do come up. It also allows for the students with special requirements to only fulfill those requirements and still be able to run for an officer position because maybe they're very busy this year, but they can devote more time to Senate in the next year. And then also just clarifies that all normal committee members can vote in the officer elections, so there's no two-tiered system, there's no confusing way about it. I think this is a very straightforward, simple bill, and it's really needed because generally in years past the Chief of Staff has interpreted this rule. Last year I got him to overturn the way it had previously been interpreted, and after he overturned it, the amount of students eligible to run for a committee officer position at least doubled in all of the committees because I helped him put together the list. So it's really a no-brainer bill, just makes it a lot more simple. Any questions? Sorry for that being a little bit long.
Are there any questions? Dylan?
Yeah, so if there, let's say there is a position on the executive part of the committee, and they're returning next year to Student Senate, are there elections still held for that position every year?
Yes, the officer terms, committee officer terms expire at the end of each Senate cycle, so even if, like, the chair is a junior, the chair would still have to run again. They wouldn't just keep the spot.
Are there any more questions? John? All those in favor of calling the question, Bill 2017-018, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. All those abstaining. All right. With that, we'll call to question on the bill. All those in favor, please press A. Opposed, B. Abstaining, C. All right, and with that, the bill passes. So we will be moving into Bill 2017-020, a bill to amend Student Senate Rules and Regulations, Article 6, Section 3.
Hey everyone. Well, this amendment is to create a board of advisors. I don't know if you know, but most multicultural student organizations had a president's roundtable that met monthly with Omar, and I felt like this would be a better way to, just a better way to represent those student organizations, and it would be more consistent, and it would be a better way to hold Student Senate more accountable to these groups. So the purpose of this board of advisors would be to directly advise Stefan and Gabby. It would meet prior to a full Senate, and I would be the chair. Student body president, student body vice president would be ex officio non-voting members of this board. The membership of this board would include Black Student Union, Hispanic American Leadership Organization, First Nation Student Association, Asian American Student Association, Spectrum KU, Multicultural Greek Council, National Pan-Hellenic Council, International Student Association, Able Hawks, a representative from the Emily Taylor Center for Gender and Women and Gender Equity Student Advisory Board, Students United for Reproductive and Gender Equity, SURGE, Student Veterans of America, and then like I said, the Student Senate Director of Diversity and Inclusion would serve as the chair of this board, and the student body president and vice president would serve as ex officio members of this board.
Yeah, so I just wanted to talk about what this amendment and what the creation of this board is versus what it isn't. What it isn't is a one-stop quick fix to the issues we have facing Student Senate pertaining to access and the visibility of multicultural and underrepresented voices. And here I think this and what you'll see throughout the year with many of the pieces of legislation that I'm sure a lot of you will author as well as ourselves, that this is a series of things that need to change within this body in order for us to truly represent all voices of Student Senate. This is not us putting any sort of putting the burden on these student groups to tell us their problems. What it is automatically opens up and creates a channel of communication for myself as student body president, Gabby as student body vice president, and future Student Senate leaderships to be able to, on a routine basis, have it codified that we need to meet with and have relationships with multicultural and underrepresented student group leaders or their designees to hear on a routine basis, the concerns of those groups or the communities, and then also any sort of legislation or policy change that Student Senate is considering that may affect these groups. I think also what's kind of special about this, or not special, but I think something unique is that it's not just any kind of board thrown together where we meet to say that we have it. The student body president and the student body vice president is held accountable throughout the year with this board, and I really think it is, again, one of a series of things that we'll be doing to increase the way voices, increase the number and the way that voices of multicultural and underrepresented students are represented.
Yeah, I think it institutionalizes the perspective, and the important perspective of multicultural concerns. While I understand the reservation related to, it's just another board, just throwing a board at the problem as we often do in higher education. I think this is a very important outlet by which these concerns can be addressed, as Stefan and Gabby. So.
All right, the first question is to Marcus.
In the amendment, it says the Student Senate Multicultural Board of Advisors shall include but not be limited to. So we're willing to add groups that we feel fit.
And that would also like a voice.
Mm-hmm.
So with adding groups, coming off of Marcus's question, let's say a group really wanted to be involved, would you have to go through the legislative process, or do I have to hear you just say, all right, you can come to the meeting?
Yeah, so that's kind of the cool thing about Student Senate rules and regs is interpretation and putting the clause but not be limited to. I think that allows for us to not have to continuously come back here.
Okay. Yeah. Are you opposed to letting those advisory, the board meetings be recorded, just for transparency issues?
No, not at all.
Any other questions?
Oh, I think there's one in the back.
I just more of a clarification question, but they're not going to be voting on, is it a generating body or what exactly is it?
So they'll serve as an advisory board, and then you'll see that a lot of these groups have student senators. So I'd say any legislation I would expect to see within or from the student senators that they have represented here, but they're not a board that generates legislation, but definitely they are able to voice their opinions and concerns, and then we'd have to come back with reasons why or why not we acted on something.
In written form from the student vice president and vice president after any decision is made.
Chancellor?
With the senators who represent organizations, I don't think they will come with their organization, like maybe the president or vice president, along with you as well.
Yeah, I think that would be fine.
Amy?
You don't have to know about it, but would you remind me you will reach out to graduate students and call in other graduate organizations to be part of this?
Yeah, definitely.
Marcus?
Just to clarify, the written rationale to the board, this happens before the legislation is actually passed.
I'm sorry, say that again?
So in Part B, it says that you'll provide a written rationale to the board on any legislation or policy changes. That's before it's passed, right? Before the end of the cycle.
No, so the board would, when the board would meet, they would discuss issues within the community and also discuss any sort of discuss legislation then, and then with us in the room, taking into consideration any decision that is made. Say we discuss a bill, and then afterwards either that bill passes or it fails, we would then have to provide written rationale as to our decision making, and I mean mine most likely to signing the bill into action to that board, which I'm sure would be made public.
Ryan? All right, all those in favor of calling the question on Bill 2017-020, please say aye. Opposed, please say nay. Abstaining? All right, and with that, we will call to question on the bill. So all those in favor, please press A. Opposed, B. Abstaining, C. All right, and with that, the bill passes. So next, we will move into the last item on our agenda, which is Bill 2017-011.
Take it away, Taylor Sable.
All right, hey everyone. My name is Taylor Sable. I'm the Student Senate Finance Committee Chair, and you all have the luck of going with this bill, and we're only 3 hours in, so relatively short meeting. So the bill that I'm bringing before you today creates a new appendix within Student Senate Rules and Regulations. This is something that we discussed in Studex over the summer, but wanted to have a debate over during full Senate. I'll try to be very concise for the sake of time, but the purpose of this is to determine the feasibility of incorporating travel funding within Student Senate funding guidelines. Currently within rules and regulations, we do not allow travel funding. However, we do have several exemptions, including KU bands, KU forensics, legal services, mock trial, model UN, and student bar. I guess what I was really wanting to do with this legislation was open up to more opportunities for groups that aren't exempted for the purpose of bringing knowledge back to the KU campus. There are events outside of Lawrence, opportunities outside of Lawrence that I want student organizations to take advantage of, and I want Student Senate to be part of the process. But granted, travel funding can get very expensive and can exhaust funds very quickly. So I wanted to sort of set this up as a trial run for this semester. So as you can see in the language, all decisions from the Senate Travel Fund will not be used as precedent after this fund is dissolved. It will only exist for the semester, so up to cycle, I believe, cycle 7 or cycle 8. And upon the completion of that cycle, any remaining funds within this travel fund will be reabsorbed back into our unallocated for use for other events. And the clause that does not allow funding for travel will be reinstated. It's just during this semester period when we have the travel fund, funds may be used for travel funding. Very quickly, I'll go through the funding structure. So if a group has an event they want to go to that costs up to $200, the travel fund can fund 75% of that request. Between 200 and 1,000, we can fund 50%. From 1,000 to 5,000, 25%, and then if there's some big event where there's a lot of expenses incurred with travel, we can fund no more than 1,250. Again, you can go through the funding guidelines, which are very similar to what we have right now. One thing I'd like to note for the use of funds is that it can only be used for domestic travel. So any events within the United States can be used. Oh, and one more thing. So after the completion of the event, again, we want to bring knowledge, information, experiences back to the KU campus. We just put in a clause that if there is a travel event that an organization receives funds through the Student Travel Fund, they will have to either present what they learned from wherever they went to their own student organization, or they can also present to a member of Student Senate if they so choose. The way we have it set right now, it will be $7,500 out of the unallocated, and again, if all of those funds are not used by the end of the first semester, they will be reabsorbed back into the unallocated. Questions? Sure.
So my question is, so it says that at when you go to the next bracket, you like we're asking for $1,000, you can get 50%, which would be $500. Or if you ask for like $1,200, you could only get $300, because that would be 25%.
Sure. I'm open to suggestions, but the reason that I set up this structure is to allow for multiple requests to be funded. And again, this is a trial run, so we want to use the information from the semester going forward. So in my opinion, I want to get as many travel funding requests as possible. I do understand that just given the way that this is set up, there may be issues. You know, if there is a $1,000 request, they would receive more than a $1,200. But the sole purpose of this is to determine travel funding for the future and potentially setting up a better funding structure for the fund.
Can we go with one and then we'll go back to you?
For the first question, how much do you anticipate needing for like if let's say we do this trial as successful?
So I think that is something that we could determine during fee review. What I have in mind is potentially maybe setting this up as a line out on the student fee. It doesn't necessarily have to be under Senate. We could put it under an organization like Silk, similar to how the MEF is lined out and has been operated in previous years. Did that answer your question, or would you like me to clarify?
So, three brothers. This may be a dumb question, and it has to do with the unallocated account. So does that mean that the unallocated would be, if we were to pass this bill, it would be below the 60,000, like this is coming out of this that was already factored into it? What?
So, I guess would you like to speak?
Not below 60,000, but below 70,000. So unallocated set at 70,000 right now, and it would be taken away from that.
So the unallocated, if this bill passes as it stands, would be $62,500. And then any remaining funds from this will be reabsorbed into the unallocated.
I was just referring to what was passed already today.
Sure, sure.
Sophia? Okay, so,
Granted.
okay. And in case that you were to receive 6 requests, more than $5,000, which would be the entire 7,000 budget you have allocated, right? How are you planning on picking who you're going to give this first semester?
Sure. So that's one reason why in the funding structure I put a maximum number. This will be the decision of the Finance Committee, how much we will give. And that's something we can debate and something I will continually remind the committee. We want to have a diverse number of applications and a large number of applications. So I could say, you know, if we have 5 requests the very first meeting for $1,250, I may say, hey, you know, keep in mind that other groups may want to take advantage of this, so I recommend, you know, maybe only funding 50% of the maximum or 60% of the maximum. It will be the decision of the Finance Committee how much they allocate.
And that would also be really helpful information for us to use in fee review.
Marcus?
But if we pass this, we're not allowed to make edits on this in a later bill this year, correct?
Could you clarify? So if we pass this, there cannot be any other changes to the student travel fund.
So we couldn't change the maximums for the amount that we are allocating.
I think since this is a portion of rules and regs, it is an appendix, it can be amended. If there is anyone who disagrees with that, I'm open to a different interpretation. But if a person believes they have a better funding structure for this time period, that's something we can debate and amend if need be during a later cycle.
Ryan? All those in favor of calling the question Bill 2017-011, please say aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Abstaining. All right, our last clicker vote of the night. Oh, no, it won't be our last. Sorry. All those in favor of passing this bill, please press A. Opposed, B. Abstaining, C. And with a vote of 53 to 2 to 6, the bill passes. Are there any announcements? Dylan?
College Republic Teams is hosting a meeting tomorrow at 7 o'clock in the Centennial Room. A lot of people talking politics, speakers, opportunities to get involved in campaigns and stuff like that. So come out, there'll be free pizza and stuff, so it'll be fun. Adam will be there too.
We're not adjourned yet. Just 1 second. Taylor?
Okay, with the passage of the travel fund, applications for it are live. We have a application already set up and created. So we will be looking at applications for next cycle. So they'll be due this Friday, the same time as general legislation. So if you have groups that are interested, please reach out to me or Dylan and or Alyssa, and we can, start the process for that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have one. There will be the Guarded Photography exhibit this Sunday from 6 to 9 in the Union Gallery. It's a really cool project. You've probably seen a lot about it on BuzzFeed. It's been all over the nation. And it addresses self-defense and rape culture. And the SAPAC office has invited all of you to come. From 6 to 9 on Sunday, there will be some refreshments and snacks and everything. And the photographer will be there. Connor?
Just two things real quick. One, Stefan talked about mental health. This month, September is Suicide Awareness Prevention Month, so just keep that in mind. And also, I have finally a corrected version of our entire calendar for this year. Fall semester on the front, spring semester on the back. If you need one, I think there are still some left from our open house. When you go take your clicker back, there should be some on that table there. If not, I'll print some more off and have them for you guys. Thank you.
Amy?
Quick reminder, grads and others over here.
All right, and with that, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn. Second. All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? All those abstaining. All right, thank you, everyone. See you on Wednesday.
I'm not kidding. It will be a
Perfect. Thank you. Have a good night. See you on Wednesday.
Other ways to I'll let them figure out and Alright, and then, yeah, just search for Jasmine and.
I'm just showing you, we have a list of free positions and then we, like, you do say something like that, you don't need to want to make sure you do official kind of session afterwards, but you want to just get it. So also you make sure that all they think, because I'm getting on this way out.
Formatting out like weird, because usually you just like either copy that or type it out and I'll do it the next thing, that messes up, so it's like as well as yeah, Snapchat is very well for yeah, and that's how you start.
None of your readers, but I have friends who are teachers.
Okay,
we're going to do all parts of these things, so that you're honestly reading. I just want to make sure like besides some random person would be
Okay. Yeah. No, I was gonna like let you because I thought of that when we first decided to do that. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that's for making color.
Committee report.
I'll try to see I'll look at the schedule, but like I don't even know how much. Okay. I know we
Is it your role to run? Mitch, is it your role to run? Oh yeah, that's your new one.
I mean, put stuff on settle it and then write like a little post that would be next like situation. I've never heard about meeting you on well, we talked about this, but meeting you on never talked about that.
Honestly, 7 days, I think 6, 7 hours, I believe, so really it's like that.
I don't, so I'm not.
When I was like told that, and I thought there's more like I don't know if it's like so like grab the under and I'm fine. However, I feel like the percent of what they're how much action all the other things that go elections, media, PR, Well, you already know how he works. I should have brought it before I brought which is great, but you know what you're doing. We've already been working on the year.
But yeah, I don't know if there's anything in your alternatives.
I'm more affiliated with James Hillary group.
Okay, yeah,
I
that's what I
actually, what I scheduled some rooms for Republican meetings. And then we might also use the and then we do have that, I know what right? Are you using it for food making, or is it just kind of you can go, Brandon. You can use your vice president. Yeah. I'm not running back here now, so.
Chance, or vice president last year, is that everything?